Hi everybody, welcome to 5 Minute Ministries. I'm starting my Little Sins series, and I'm starting with really one of the big ones as far as little sins go, and that is doubt. Now, Google defines doubt as a feeling of uncertainty or lack of conviction, a lack of trust or faith. And that's a pretty good definition, because that's the whole idea of doubt, just not sure. We're uncertain about anything and everything. Maybe not to that extreme, but there are times when, yes, we should be skeptical of things, especially if if it seems unbiblical or ungodly, or it does not seem to be according to God's will. But as far as doubt goes, there are reasons we have doubt. One is circumstances. We doubt God's will because roadblocks keep seeming to come up. We seem to not be able to move forward. We don't feel God's presence, or whatever the circumstances may be. It seems to be preventing us from doing what we think is God's will. We can't see the future, and we only see what's in front of us. And because we see what's in front of us, we think, well, this can't be God's will, or this can't be what I think it is, but we cannot let circumstances always determine what God's will is, because sometimes God's will comes with difficulties, and those difficulties may seem like roadblocks, but God intends them to be hurdles to cross in His strength and not our own. We stop looking at God's promises and we forget them. That's another circumstance that comes along. We, just like Peter, when he's walking on water, he's focused on Christ, and suddenly he sees what's going on around him, and he starts to sink. So we cannot let circumstances make us doubt all the time. Another problem we have, one of the reasons we doubt, is the trustworthiness of others. Well, let's face it, we've met plenty of people who just are not trustworthy. We can't trust them. People fail all the time. They let us down, and they're going to continue to do that because they are human beings. And let's face it, we also fail others. We ask God to change, but that person just doesn't seem to change. Nothing seems to happen in that person's life. And it's easy to doubt that they will ever change. It's easy to doubt that God is ever going to do anything. Well, that person has to make a decision too. God's still doing His work, but that person also has to make the choice and the effort to make those changes that need to be changed, including you. You are not the only one, or the people you're praying for and want to change are not the only ones who need to be changed. Sometimes you do too. And sometimes you doubt you will change. So I'm going to be stuck in this rut of sin forever. I'm going to be this way forever. I'll never get forward. I'll never move forward. And it creates, the third thing that creates doubt is the lack of confidence in ourselves. Because we have limited power, and we try to do things on our own. We've seen many examples in the Bible where people try to do things on their own, and they fell on their faces. They did it in their own strength. They did not do it according to God's will. They did not do it God's way. They tried to do it on their own. See, doubt is dangerous because it stops us from moving forward, and it can make us into skeptics. And when we doubt God, it can make us start to blame God instead of trust Him. So what can we do about it? Well, we trust that God knows what He's doing, and He does. No matter what goes on in our lives, He says, I have a plan and a purpose for you, and I want you to follow it. I want you to do my will. I want you to do what I say, no matter what goes on in your life. He wants us to remember His promises. He made a lot of things very clear about His promise. He will never leave us or forsake us. If we, Proverbs chapter 3, 5 and 6, trust in the Lord with all your strength and lean not on your own understanding. Acknowledge Him in all your ways, and He will direct your path. And if you do those things, you continue with God. God, I don't know what's going on, but you have a purpose and plan for me, and I want to follow that. You just keep moving forward in His strength and not your own, and you will have very little doubt. This has been 5 Minute Ministries, and I'll see you next time.